Welcome, guys, to Fourth Quarter Sports Podcast. I'm here with my good friend Sean, and we're going to be talking about everything that's happened in sports recently. How's it going, Sean?
It's going. I'm excited for football to be back and to talk about football and stuff like that.
Alrighty. I'm your host, Edward DiMaria. So, first thing we're talking about, obviously, football is coming back. What do you think the season's going to look like this year? What expectations kind of do you have?
It's not going to be as fun because there's no fans in the stadium. I think that's going to be it's going to affect a lot of teams, but not affect a lot. I mean, we just don't know yet. We'll see.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I will definitely not being able to go to some games. Not going to be fun. It's definitely going to be different than other years. There's no argument about that. What teams do you think are going to be affected the most? Like, what are we looking at here?
With the no fans, I'm thinking teams like Denver or Seattle with huge crowds and that really liven the place up. I think that's going to affect them a lot because that's the 12th man for Seattle. 12th man is the fans, and they're not going to be there. So that's going to affect them a lot.
And then on the flip side, teams that aren't, I've got teams like the Ravens and Chiefs, that just perform, come out every week. And then the Chargers, mainly because they don't have fans to begin with. So, speaking of the NFL, we're going to get into picking some NFL games here. I've got some main ones. I got 6 main ones here that we're going to talk about a little bit more, and then we'll go through and just pick the rest of them. So first up, Chiefs versus Texans. Who do you have, and why?
Oh, I've got the Chiefs in this one. I just think they're too good to lose to a team like the Texans.
Well, I've got the Texans. I've got Kansas City going on a Super Bowl slump for 1 week. After that, they're just going to start lighting it up. Patrick Mahomes just got paid a lot of money. So did Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson doesn't have the accolades that Mahomes does yet. But I think this is Deshaun Watson here to prove that he can do everything that Mahomes and other quarterbacks can. All right, Packers Vikings. Who do you have?
I have the Vikings.
Yes, same here.
I just think the Vikings their run game with Dalvin Cook. I just think they're gonna crush the Packers, even though it's a division game.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers in week 1 is always something dangerous that you never like to see. But behind that offensive line, Dalvin Cook will run. Kirk Cousins, little play action, play fake, gone. Game's over. There you go. Packers do have a good secondary, but I don't think that they'll be able to hold up. I think Justin Jefferson is a big game. Alrighty, big one: Saints versus Bucks.
I've got the Saints. I think the Bucks are overrated.
Wow.
Tom Brady. That's what I think. I think the Saints are a really good team, and I just don't see them losing to an old quarterback who's going down.
I mean, yeah, that Saints offense did get a little more dangerous. They brought in Emmanuel Sanders, drafted Cesar Ruiz, center out of Michigan. He's probably gonna end up starting. But I've got the Bucks in this game, mainly because the whole talk this year has been, their offense is insane. They got Tom Brady, Gronk, to pair with Mike Evans, who honestly might be out for this first week 1 matchup. But they still have Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate's still there, O.J. Howard, and then Leonard Fournette, Shady McCoy's there. But I think the main talking point about this is going to be defense. The Saints' defense outside of Marshawn Lattimore, Cameron Jordan, and Malcolm Jenkins is Eli Apple, which isn't exactly, my first pick, but the Bucks defense is still something else. They've got Ndamukong Suh, who's old, aging, but still productive. Shaq Barrett, sack leader from last year. Levante David, Devin White, as well as some decent corners. Vernon Hargraves is out there. The secondary is still so much room for improvement, but that D-line and linebacking core is still very solid. And I think that will take the Bucks to victory in week 1. Close game, though. I'll give them close game. Alrighty, Lions Bears.
Oh, this is going to be a terrible game. I'm taking the Lions in this one. I don't really know what to say about it. I'm just taking the Lions.
I had the Bears until they said Mitch Trubisky was going to be starting, so I've got the Lions now. Matt Stafford's going to stay healthy this year. They're going to the playoffs at 9-7. Alrighty. Next up, the big one. Big homer game. Ravens-Browns. I don't even have to ask this question. How many points are the Ravens winning by this week, Sean?
Lamar is pumped up. I've been watching his interviews. Everyone has confidence in him, and he said he's not affected by his expectations for this year, and he's just going to go out and perform. And I was also listening to the interviews that the players were having. They said they're going to create their own energy, and because the fans won't be there. And I think that's going to be huge. I think they're winning by 10 at least, maybe 14.
Yeah, when you're going in week one, coming off of a step down from a season that everyone thought you were going to take a step up. You need to come in, no fans, quiet environment. Obviously, we don't know about the whole fan noise pumping in situation against a team coming off an extremely hot season with an extremely cold finish. The last thing you want to hear is we'll be creating our own energy, especially from the reigning MVP in Lamar Jackson. I've got the Ravens here as well, mainly because...
How much?
A decent amount, yeah. I could see it being close, but then again, I could also see the Ravens blowing them out. The Browns, last time they came to Baltimore, 40-25, dominated on the ground, but all the Ravens did this offense was improve, drafted solid linebackers, and then brought in two pieces to help on the D end. The Browns' defense is young and still growing and being a lot better. Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward are both phenomenal corners, but I don't see the Ravens throwing the ball a lot coming up this Sunday. So you can't really do much if you're getting blocked by Miles Boykin. So
exactly.
All right, last game. You're probably a little confused why this is on the list. Chargers versus Bengals. Joe Burrow's first NFL game. What do you got?
Okay. I think he's going to choke. That's just me.
Think he's going to crack?
Chargers.
Jeez, alrighty.
Absolutely.
So you got the Chargers?
Yes.
Alright, well, I've got the Bengals. I've got Joe Burrow tossing 350 yards and... Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. I've got Joe Burrow tossing 350 yards and I don't know. We'll go with 3 touchdowns this week against the Chargers. They still have a good secondary, but Derwin James not being a help over the top.
Nope.
I don't know. They've got Nasir Adderley's back there as well. I famously got called out on Twitter this summer for saying that he sounded like a SoundCloud rapper. They improved their secondary with Chris Harris Jr. But I don't know. I still see Joe Burrow. They're just running a lot of simple plays. Zach Taylor doesn't bring it too complicated. I see Joe Burrow getting it done in where are they playing? I think they're in Cincinnati. Yeah, I see Joe Burrow getting it done at home, opening up the season better than the Browns. No? All right.
No.
We're going to get into the rest of the games here. Just quick, who you taking? Seattle at Atlanta. Seattle. New York Jets at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Miami at New England.
New England.
Miami.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Philadelphia at Washington.
Philadelphia.
Raiders at Panthers.
What do you think on this one?
Raiders.
Okay, I was thinking Raiders too, yeah.
Colts at Jaguars. Say it with me. 3, 2,
Colts.
1. Colts.
Oh.
Yeah, Colts. It's going to be the Colts. Colts. Not a doubt in my mind. Cardinals at 49ers.
Cardinals at 49ers? I think the 49ers are going to have a rough year. Not Colts.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
49ers in a close one.
Okay.
Cowboys at Rams.
Cowboys.
Steelers at Giants.
Steelers. It's a bye week.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers too. Titans at Broncos. Monday Night Football, by the way.
Yeah. Titans.
Broncos. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. So there's the picks for the NFL games. Alright. Let's get into a quick lightning round. Just gonna give you some headlines from this weekend, from these last couple of days. NBA playoffs happened. The Heat sweep the Bucks. Playoff Jimmy Butler came out and finished off Milwaukee without Giannis. They're moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Raptors to 7, double overtime. Kyle Lowry hits a clutch fadeaway jumper over Jaylen Brown. Give him a 4-point lead late in the game with under a minute left. Playoff LeBron is back in action. They take a 2-1 lead over the Rockets. He then passes Derek Fisher for the most playoff wins of all time. Patrick Beverley talks smack to Nikola Jokic. Clippers then begin to back it up by beating the Nuggets. I still hate Patrick Beverley, though. Do not get me wrong. Alrighty, next up, we've got some ridiculous scores across the MLB. This is not a lightning round. So, you can see here are your scores. Move over this way a little bit. As you can see, this post is from CBS Sports on Instagram. The Brewers beat the Tigers 19-0.
That was crazy.
Boyd had a 7.63 ERA. Insane. And he still lost that game. Let me make that clear. So
they had 5 home runs that game.
5. Yeah, that's
just. Oh man.
Marlins Braves. I think they outscored the last meeting between the Dolphins and the Falcons. Actually, score of that game 20-17, 37 total points. Score of this game 29-9, 38 total points. So, and that was back.
I mean, they were up 25-9, and Adam Duvall just hit a grand slam.
Damn, that's cold. That was
you gotta do what you gotta do.
That Falcons Dolphins game was back in 2017. Both teams were 3-1 at the time. They weren't even bad.
Oh really?
Yeah. That was the year the Dolphins went to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, good
and then
time.
Immediately lost. Giants beat the Mariners. Not a big surprise, but 10-1. Pretty high scoring game.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, I mean it's not as high as 29-9, but still a lot of points.
Yes, Trzemski with his 9th home run of the year in that game. That's pretty impressive. It was a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning.
That's
pretty impressive.
Alrighty, we're picking some college football games now.
Oh yeah.
College football coming back this week. Thankfully, this is actually week 2 of college football. Week 1 had some very exciting games, such as Marshall beating Eastern Kentucky 59-0, Army beating Middle Tennessee 42-0, and BYU beating Navy 55-3. So none of those teams are ranked, by the way. Those were all throwaway games that I don't think anyone was really interested to watch those. But here we go. We got 6 ranked games coming up here. One was postponed. 21st UCF against Florida International got postponed, so we're down to 6 games this weekend. Starting off with Duke versus number 10 ranked Notre Dame. Notre Dame's favored by 20 points.
Notre Dame.
That's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Syracuse versus UNC. UNC is ranked 18th, and they're favored by 22.5.
I think we both know.
Yeah, UNC. Sam Howell's going to get it done. I think, they're playing at home as well. Notre Dame's at home as well. All the ranked teams this week except for Clemson are at home. Next up, Missouri State versus Oklahoma. Oh, wow. Okay. I was looking. They didn't have a money line for this. But Spencer Rattler Number 2 ranked quarterback in the class. He's a incoming, I think he's a red shirt or a true freshman this year. Coming in, they didn't have a money line, so I just opened it up to see what we're looking at here. It looks like Oklahoma is 99.8% favorites in this game. You can see here. This is the chart here. They have a 99.8% chance to win this game according to ESPN. That's a ridiculous number.
That's 0.2% for Missouri State.
0.2% for Missouri State, yes. That is the odds that they are giving to beat Oklahoma this weekend. I would not be very happy if I was Missouri State. So I think Oklahoma's ranked 5th in the country. Spencer Rattler is apparently a great quarterback with a great arm.
Yeah.
I'm taking Oklahoma.
Same.
Next up, Wake Forest versus number 1 ranked Clemson. 33-point favorites for Clemson. They're on the road. Wake Forest is going to be not that great.
No.
Clemson. It's not that hard. Former future Jacksonville Jaguar number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence taking the field. I was Patrick Mahomes. Looking to grab another title. Lost to the great Joe Burrow last year. The championship. Final, we got UTEP versus number 14 ranked Texas. I will say UTEP is undefeated. They are 1-0. Last week, I believe, they took down Stephen F. Austin 24-20 or 24-14 in a 10-point victory. They have the same odds as Missouri State does, 0.2% of winning this game.
Yeah, I don't think that win is going to help them against Texas.
No, Texas is also 43-point favorites in this game. The highest we've seen of any team so far. I'm taking Texas if you could tell. Yeah. Alrighty, and then one last thing coming up, the NBA here. Tonight we have Lakers-Rockets. Lakers are up 2-1. We're going into game 4. Lakers are 5-point favorites. Who you taking?
Lakers.
Yeah, I'm going with Lakers too. Rockets could win this game. Depends on how Russell Westbrook plays. If he's been playing terrible like he has the last 2 games, maybe not. But you never know. And then Friday, obviously, game 5, Clippers up 3-1. It's nearly impossible to come back from 3-1. Only 2 teams have ever done it, I believe. Warriors and Cavaliers, both in the same season, ironically. Clippers have a 64.7% chance to win this game according to ESPN's Power Index. Clippers Nuggets, who you taking?
Clippers,
yeah. All right, big one. Yeah. Game 7, Raptors Celtics, series tied 3-3. Friday night. Celtics have a 53.2% to 46.8% to beat the Raptors, according to ESPN's Power Index. Who are you going with? It's a big one.
I thought about this a lot. I'm going Raptors.
Wow. You know what? I'm going the Raptors too. I saw this. I looked at it. I listened to the game last night on my drive home. I sat there. I watched them. A lot of the Raptors guys struggled, but a lot of the Raptor guys picked it up. Norman Powell scored 7 points to close out the 4th quarter, tie the game back up. Very clutch from him. He hit free throws at the end. They even trust him so much over Kyle Lowry, they gave him the last shot at the end of the first overtime period. They went to double overtime last night in Game 6. Raptors did take that game to tie the series up at 3 here. Looking ahead, you've got, what was it for the NFL? You said you had a survivor pick.
Yes.
Pick one team to win a game this week. You can't pick them the rest of the season. Was that it?
Yes.
All right. Who you taking? Who's your lock for this week? Who's 100% going to win to keep you alive?
I think it's pretty easy. 20% of Yahoo Fantasy owners took this team, which is insane.
Okay.
I took the Colts.
Over Jacksonville?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's That's I don't really got much to say about that. When you're doing these, you kind of got to look at what teams can I pick this week that are going to win this week that I will not need to pick to win another week. And for me, the Colts against Jacksonville in Jacksonville is a phenomenal pick. But there's another team that I want to pick because I don't think I'm going to pick them a lot the rest of the season. And my lock for this week is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Washington football team in Washington. Philadelphia's going to go in, get it done. Washington's going to struggle. Dwayne Haskins is going to struggle throwing the ball like he has. Alex Smith is always there. He might come in and pull off a second half miracle. I think he's not. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to struggle throwing, and I think they're going to struggle running without Adrian Peterson. Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. Miles Sanders is obviously prone to have a good year. Nelson Aguilar is there. I think Philly's going to be able to get it done.
I think that's a good pick. I mean, looking at their schedule, they play the Rams next week. They're not going to win that. Then they play Bengals. I mean, it all depends on Joe Burrow for the Bengals. They could win that, could lose. You never know. And then 49ers, Steelers, Ravens. They could also be a good pick for Week 7. They play the Giants. That could be a good pick.
If you look
and it's at home.
Home against the Giants. You look forward to Week 7.
I do.
And you look, and you're like, all right, it's Week 7, but then we also have games like Buffalo's playing the Jets again. Dallas is playing football team. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like to save teams like that for like divisional matchups later on in the season. Like Week 15, you look at Week 15, like you're gonna have a lot of random teams playing. Like you're not gonna have a lot of teams left. You're gonna be stuck with teams like stuff with like the Bears, the Dolphins, the Patriots. So
I think my strat is getting the bad teams out of the way. So like Colts, and then like going into